Alright guys, so I've gotten a million different questions about my bench press, about my grip on the bench, about my feet on the bench, about my arch on the bench, literally everything. So today I thought I was literally just going to go through everything there is about my setup for the bench press. So first up, for the grip, I use a mix between a bulldog grip and Japanese grip, and I pretty much advise everyone to do this. So what you want to do when you come over to the bar is you want to take your hand and then place it, whatever grip width you use. I use somewhere between these two fingers on the rings, so not max, but pretty close to max grip for what's legal in powerlifting competition. So I grip like this, and then I rotate my hand in like this. From the back side, it looks like this. So I'm stacking all of the weight into this point here, and it's going this way into my hand. So it looks like you take a regular grip, and then you rotate your hand in, and you kind of have this hard thing right here where you're going to stack the barbell, so the bar is stacked onto your wrist and you're not getting into any kind of loose position like this. And what you're doing is you're internally rotating the shoulder a little bit, which means when you come down, it's going to be way easier to flare the elbows out compared to having them tucked in like this. Because not many people are actually stronger with tucked elbows in. So that's my grip. I try and have my rack height here as low as possible. When I started training, I had this in 18. Now I have this in 12. This is a ER rack, so it's different from rack to rack. But for a lot of racks, it's very similar. So what I do when I lay on the bench is I get my grip like this, and then I really try and rotate my shoulders or retract my shoulders as much as possible. So when sitting up, it looks like I'm taking them all the way back and down, and then with that I'm giving my chest up, and I have that position throughout the entire lift. So shoulders back, hands on the bar, rotating inwards, having this position here. And then it's almost impossible to not have a good upper body positioning. But what is even more important probably is the lower body positioning. Even though it's a bench press, we really need to utilize everything that we can to maximize as much of the strength that we have as possible. And with that, we want to find the feet placement where we are basically just going to generate the most amount of force away from us. So the reason why I always have these mats on is because otherwise, because I'm generating so much force pushing away, I would literally slide on this floor, on a regular floor. And you also want to get some as sticky shoes as possible. These are pretty sticky, but you can get some that are a little bit more sticky than these, but on a regular powerlifting platform is fine for me. So have this mat under here, and what I find is a lot of people are putting their feet way too far behind of them because it gives a sensation of tightness and extension, but really you don't want a sensation of tightness and extension. You just want to generate force away from you. And the best possible positioning to do that for a lot of people, almost all people, will be somewhere around feet right below knee or a little bit in front of the knee like this. Now, the only downside at all about having the feet a little bit further away than knee is that you might have a bigger tendency to slide with your feet. But what you can do to counterbalance that is to rotate your feet a little bit outwards, so you have a little bit more room to not slide here. So this, you'll see many people do it like this. This is pretty much really good for positioning for 80–90% of people. Now, again, all of these things are for a soft touch bench where you're not sinking the bar down into your chest, but you're kind of getting it down and then in the pause, keeping most of the weight in your hands and not so much on the chest with the bar. But I'm only going to cover the setup here, and in another video I can cover the pressing motion itself, but it's really simple once you got the setup done really. So what we got now, all combined, is the grip, like this, internally rotated, whatever grip width you choose yourself, and then getting the shoulders as far back as possible, and then with your feet finding that positioning where you can drive the most amount of force away like this. What you should be able to do is with your feet get this motion be able to get your chest up with that, and your butt should never raise off the bench. If it does that, you probably have bad leg drive. So what we want to do is you can get the butt off the bench before unracking with your feet in the perfect placement, but then once you have taken your grip and unracked, you want to very, very slowly put the butt down on the bench, so it's just slightly in contact here, but it's literally like 0.5 kg on the bench from my butt here. And this is basically the position that I'm going to start from every single time I'm benching. And that's pretty much it for the setup for the bench press for me. Some cues that I use oftentimes for a lot of people with this technique on the bench press is really just meet the bar with your chest, get that up as high as possible on the way down on the bench, and then in the pose itself, obviously maintain all the tightness and make sure that you have this pressure in your feet at all times during the bench press, from the unrack to the re-rack. Every single time you're like having the bar in your hand, or all the time when you're having the bar in your hand, you should be focusing on pushing away with your feet at all times.